You said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again,
okay.
I'm Singaporean.
Let me ask you some, hopefully, simple questions.
Even though Senator Tom Cotton thought he was cooking with his line of citizenship questioning for TikTok CEO Shou Chew based on his assumptions about him, anyone else watching saw a racist picture being painted. And since his genius plan ended without Shou saying he's Chinese and directs TikTok to kill all you Americans, he tried to make assumptions about his beliefs next.
You said earlier, in response to a question, that what happened at Tiananmen Square in June of 1989 was a massive protest. Did anything else happen in Tiananmen Square?
Yes, I think it's well documented. There was a massacre.
There was an indiscriminate slaughter of hundreds or thousands of Chinese citizens. Do you agree with the Trump administration and the Biden administration that the Chinese government is committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
Senator, I've said this before. I think it's really important that anyone who cares about this topic or any topic can freely express themselves on TikTok.
It's a very simple question that unites both parties in our country and governments around the world. Is the Chinese government committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
Senator, anyone, including, you can come into TikTok and talk about this topic.
I'm asking you,
or any topic that matters to you.
You are a worldly, cosmopolitan, well-educated man who's expressed many opinions on many topics. Is the Chinese government committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
Actually, Senator, I talk mainly about my company, and I'm here to talk about what TikTok does.
Yes or no? You're here to give testimony that's truthful and honest and complete. Let me ask you this. Joe Biden last year said that Xi Jinping was a dictator. Do you agree with Joe Biden? Is Xi Jinping a dictator?
Senator, I'm not going to comment on any world leaders.
Tom Cotton knows that despite his wishes going unfulfilled, his colleagues could take those interactions and spin them into whatever narrative they want to. So questions about his bigoted objective must be ignored.
What were you getting at there? It's getting a lot of attention. Singapore is obviously self-governed, has been since 1959. Do you have some kind of information on this TikTok CEO that we should be aware of?
Well, first off, he acknowledged that TikTok is under the control of a company that has its own internal Chinese Communist Party committee. He himself worked for a company before he went to TikTok and ByteDance that was sanctioned by the United States government as a Chinese communist-controlled military company. TikTok and its parent ByteDance answers to China. And, of course, you can be affiliated with or associated with the Chinese Communist Party anywhere in the world. The Biden administration has many cases against American citizens who have been collaborating with and working on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. Singapore, unfortunately, is one of the places in the world that has the highest degree of infiltration and influence by the Chinese Communist Party. So Mr. Chu has a lot to answer for what his app is doing in America and why it's doing it.
Elected officials have been concerned about TikTok's data collection capabilities and the free-flowing nature of so many users submitting so much information to the company. It's a topic worthy of discussion and investigation, like any other social media company that we all know have a firm grip on many Americans' willful submission of their personal information. But when it comes to the CEO of TikTok, the baked-in message to Americans is that they're using it to turn your brains into communist machines. And naturally, based on what he looks like, despite Chu clearing all of Cotton's qualifying loyalty questions, he himself must be up to something because look at him. See if you can find any evidence behind those conclusions that Tom Cotton had been making.
So you feel that you were justified in the line of questioning, and I'll just ask you again, do you have any evidence that he's a member of the CCP?
No, Martha, what I have is his record of working at companies that have been sanctioned because they are associated with and directed by the Chinese Communist Party, or working at a company that has internal Chinese Communist Party committees. It's entirely reasonable to pursue a line of questioning about whether he himself, like his company, is subject to the influence of the Chinese Communist Party. And Martha, he wouldn't even answer questions at that hearing about whether, say, China's committing genocide against the Uyghur people or whether Xi Jinping is a dictator. What is he scared of? Why won't he answer those questions?